the organist, stable star. Are you working back from Cheltenham with this one?
Yeah, last year was a bit of a mess because of the weather. I wanted to run her in the Potemps final, and the ground went a little bit against her. I am regretting not running her in the Potemps because the way she ran in the Coral Cup, she had to have been gone very close in the Potemps. So the answer to your question is yes. I got a little bit cold feet Cheltenham the other day in the qualifier. She'll go to either Newbury for a qualifier or Aintree for a qualifier. I want to get her qualified and then we'll work on. I'm still not completely giving up the ghost with her over fences. But I'll see how we get on over hurdles first. So I'm really, really happy with her. She looks great this year.
So basically it is all roads leading to the Potemps final.
Absolutely.
Euxton Lane, we saw him on the gallops earlier. What's the plan for him?
Definitely chasing. He's a horse I've always liked. He improved with each run last year. Big imposing horse, jumps his fences well at home. I haven't got a set first race target for him. I'm quite keen to school him on grass before I go into public. And I definitely start him off over 2, round a stiff track and up him to 2.5 later on. But he's finished up, funnily enough, £1 higher over hurdles than Many Clouds did when he finished his hurdle career. Both owned by Trevor Hemmings, obviously.
How high do you think he could go over fences?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm hoping he's going to end up at Cheltenham. Of course we do. We always, this time of year, we always want to aim for Cheltenham, But if he does, happy days. If he doesn't, there's plenty of other decent races in him.
And Rayvin Black, real stalwart of the yard, had 50 races. Where are we likely to see him next?
I think it's probably going to be his last season. He's going to be quite a difficult horse to place. But those intermediate chases for second season novices, he'd have half a chance. He had a nice little pipe open the other day at Chepstow in a charity race. Graham Bradley rode him. So he got the cobwebs off. I haven't got a set plan because one thing with him is he does want soft ground. So I'm just going to have to sit and wait until we are. But he's ready to run, very happy with him. But as I say, it'll probably be his last season. He's been an absolute star to have in the yard.
And a youngster in the yard, Cheeky Rascal, ex-Richard Hannon trained 3-year-old, won well the other day. What's the plan?
I had great fun on the way home and ringing up Richard Hannon Sr., telling him that I can improve one of his horses, which he nearly put the phone down on me. But Richard did send me the horse, who got me to persuade the owners to send it to me. Listen, it wasn't a great race at Wincanton the other day, but Leighton said he could only improve because a horse veered right across him at the second hurdle, and he's won his hurdle race. If you jump and gallop, you're going to win races. Sometimes those juveniles are pretty average this time of year, so we've got a long way to go before we start thinking of other things. But if you win another one, then happy days. But no set plans for him at the moment.
Hitherjacques Lady, the plan to go chasing with her?
Definitely. I wanted to go chasing last year, and the owner wouldn't let me. Was a bit nervous about that, but loves the heavy ground. It cannot be too heavy for her. If we get the reins, there's a mare's chase at Fontwell in 10 days, a fortnight's time, but start off low, then work up. But I say ground would be the most important thing for her. But I think she will get 3 miles, but I'll be starting off at mid-division, 2.5, 2.5, 2.6, something like that.
And got away, a listed chase winner last season. She's running a big race when falling at Punchestown.
Yeah, gave Noel Feely smashed. He did his C5 or C6 or whatever it was at Punchestown. Was running a big race. You're absolutely right. A mare we've always liked. We won a listed race well at Leicester, and then ran no race at Huntingdon, the big mares race there, but she broke a blood vessel. She's entered at Carlisle in the Colin Parker. She obviously gets a £7 allowance being a mare, but I think a lot of her. She's rated 139, 140, so with a £7 allowance, you're sort of in those sort of races. And again, those intermediate chases she's well up for, along with some of those mares chases, and there's plenty of opportunities for mares. So there's a couple of big mares races, 75 grand races, one at Huntingdon in the new year and one at Doncaster between Christmas and the new year, which I've sort of got my eyes on, but definitely want to keep the right side of.
Another we saw on the gallops, Jersey Bean, won a handicap hurdle at Market Rasen on his reappearance. Where next for him?
Yeah, a real tough little individual. Leighton adores him because he battles. And funnily enough, he's a half brother to 2 mares I trained called Robiness and Mischievous Millie. And Mischievous Millie won a listed race. Both of them loved the mud. This fella doesn't. He wants decent ground. He's actually in at Carlisle in a 25 grand handicap hurdle. If the ground is decent, I'd send him up. I'd send him up there. If not, we're just going to wait for decent ground. He's a horse who might have a mid-season break and come back for a campaign in the spring. I'd be tempted to get him qualified for Potemps final. 3 miles wouldn't be an issue for him, but and he's one who'll definitely jump a fence as well. He'd do that next season. But I'd like to think there's a decent hurdle race in him. Well, he won a 12 grand race the other day, so he's virtually paid for himself this season. So he's on the way up. He's a horse we like.
Could he be even better over 3 miles?
Yes, in one word.
Captain Peacock, 2-time winner this season. Does he need good ground?
Definitely, absolutely right. Disappointed the other day, but he made a Horlicks 3 out at Worcester. I'm not saying he would have won that day, but I think he would have run on to be placed. Depending on the weather, he might have one more run. We were just talking about it this morning with his owner, Josh Apiafi. But he will definitely have a mid-season break and will come back in the spring. And we're very much toying with the idea of going over to America with him for some of those races over there, because the prize money is fantastic. And he's owned as well in partnership with Josh and Bert Black, who's the guy, the Chasemore Farms man. So that's the ultimate goal next summer, spring, to go to the States. But I'd say he'll have a break mid-season when the weather goes soft.
What's occurring? Winner first time out at Hereford this season. Where next?
Probably back to Hereford again next Monday. I'm not sure what his trip is. He disappointed me at Market Raisin last year when in quite a hot EBF qualifier. But I think he will get further. But what I'm more excited about, I think he's going to be even better chaser. He's grown and developed during the season. During the summer. But I'm looking forward to upping him in trip. He's a relentless galloper, jumps his hurdles well. But how far we go over hurdles, I don't know.
Now, our Lambourne man, James Byrne, has marked my card a little bit and given me a few names to ask you about. So first of all, Sevarano.
Yeah, he's definitely one. He's be one of my, I'd like to think, one of my better hurdlers. Won his bumper very easily at Kempton, was fifth in the Aintree bumper on ground which wouldn't have been ideal. It was quite testing that day. Jumped super. Haven't got a set plan. The owner's actually Tim Sider, who's a very staunch supporter of ours. He's on his way, as we're talking, out to Australia for the Melbourne Cup for 12 days. So I haven't got a set plan. He's ready to run. We want a bit more rain just to get him going. Jumps super at home, but definitely one to keep the right side of. I'd be mortified if he couldn't win his 2 hurdle races, but I think he's better than that.
Shaughnessy?
Very much so. Second in 2 bumpers and won his bumper. A little bit slow to learn. I've got to can't be too rude about him. He's very honest and very genuine, but he's a little bit. He's just every time he runs, he's improved. His jumping has taken, but he's had a lot of practice jumping. He's taken a bit of time to get from his brain to his feet, but has now got good. He's got a same sort of profile a little bit as Deputy Dan, as a good horse we had a few years ago. Relentless galloper, wouldn't be flashy. Again, haven't got a set plan because he's owned by Tim, but he definitely want a bit of cut in the ground. I'd like all of them. They're all ready to run, just want a bit more rain. But again, I'd be very disappointed if he couldn't win his 2 hurdle races. Beyond that, I don't know.
Would you be looking sort of 2.5?
Definitely, yeah. I'd have no hesitation of starting him off at 2.5. But I can't wait to see him over fences next year. He'd be even better then.
Manning Estate?
Yeah. Again, jumps well. I'm going to run him in a bumper, probably at Ascot on Saturday, just to get the cobwebs off. He's got a little bit racy, a little bit fizzy at home, typical after first race, think they know it all. And I just want to get Leighton to have a spin round, and if he wins, happy days. But and then definitely go hurdling. He's very, very economical over his hurdle. He's been very natural over hurdles. Again, how far he goes, I don't know, but he's definitely one who'll win his races.
And Southern Sam?
Southern Sam's a horse I didn't have anything to do with. Jerry Hogan bought him with Tim at the Punchestown sale, second in his bumper. Not the best looking horse in the world. That's the Black Sam Bellamy for you. Not flashy at home. I'm going to learn so much more about him when I see him on the track. Probably start him off at 2.5 mile novice hurdle. But again, he's another one who almost wants fences. But I keep having to remind myself he is only 4. So there's plenty of maturing to do there.
And finally, one horse for viewers to follow this season.
Blimey. Well, to me, I'm sorry, you mentioned him. I've got to say Sevarano. He'd be my pick of my novice hurdlers and the youngsters coming forward. I rate him quite highly.